A wolf that had been starving for 3 days suddenly discovered a human skin lying on the ground. Curious, it moved closer and sniffed it with its nose, finding a tear at the back of the neck of the skin. After hesitating for a moment, it used all its strength to squeeze into the human skin. The once deflated skin gradually swelled up, and then it carefully adjusted its mouth so that it could fit this new skin more closely. When the wolf, now wearing the human skin, clumsily raised its hands, it was amazed to find that they were much more dexterous than its wolf claws. But before it could get used to it, a human figure flashed by in front of its eyes. Curious, it followed along and imitated the way humans stood and ran, though it wobbled unsteadily, still not quite used to it. Not long after leaving the forest, it arrived in front of an office building. Seeing the office workers chatting nearby, it realized this was a great opportunity to blend into human society. Then, it walked into the interview room, staring earnestly at a resume it couldn't understand at all. At that moment, someone nearby was sketching on paper, and the wolf immediately imitated them, starting with the way they held the pen. Surprisingly, this wolf, who couldn't even write, was actually hired. Relying on its sharp instincts and cunning, the wolf quickly made a name for itself in the workplace, even earning the boss's trust. Before long, it moved into a luxurious villa. Looking at everything it had worked so hard to achieve, it joyfully ran wild on the grass, all 4 limbs on the ground. The movers were stunned when they saw this. To avoid revealing its identity as a wolf, it immediately stood up and waved, signaling them to get back to work. Fortunately, the workers didn't think much of it, assuming it was just its unique way of celebrating. At that moment, the wolf looked toward the forest not far away, and suddenly began to miss the days of freedom it once had. Whenever the heavy workload left it gasping for breath, the photos of prey on the wall would always stir up its wild instincts. As the days went by, the wolf not only rose through the ranks at work, but even married a beautiful wife. But ever since it put on human skin, all the food at the dinner table had been cooked meals, which left it with no appetite at all. Seeing the pet dog in his wife's friend's arms, the wolf could no longer suppress the wildness in its heart. The next day, it couldn't wait to go to the pet store, bought a pet cat, and planned to feast on it in the secluded garage. But just as it was about to enjoy its meal, its daughter suddenly opened the garage door. She thought it was a gift from her father, and in order not to reveal his true identity, the wolf had no choice but to give the cat to his daughter. After that, the wolf felt it was becoming harder and harder to suppress the wildness inside. The photos of prey on the wall and the stapler on the desk always stirred up its desires. And at the department meeting at the company the next day, the wolf completely lost control. When it saw footage of its kind feasting in the video, it finally couldn't hold back any longer. It leapt onto the desk, charged at a colleague who had their back turned, and as swiftly and cleanly as a predator, tore out the colleague's throat, thus exposing its identity as a wolf. Realizing it had made a terrible mistake, it rushed home without a second thought, but it forgot that it was now a wolf. When it burst through the door in a panic, its wife and daughter were so terrified by its ferocious appearance that they screamed. It tore off its human skin with force, revealing its true form, hoping for understanding from its family. But its wife still insisted on driving it away. Utterly hopeless, it could only turn and flee from home, with the figures of its colleagues relentlessly chasing after it. When it fled in distress to the outskirts, preparing to return to the forest, it discovered that the area had long been covered with human houses. Just as it was lost in confusion, a truck sped by and brought its absurd life to an end. And after seeing it get hit and killed by the truck, its colleagues who had been chasing it actually revealed strange, eerie smiles. In a sense, the colleagues were actually wolves too. It's just that in this era where everyone wears a disguise, they hid themselves well, while the wolf's disguise failed. Naturally, the consequence was that it was eliminated as an outcast.